We are in for a treat. Many in the city of Wilmington know this gentleman to be pastor, doctor. I know him as a friend and someone that I can call upon. I also call him a shepherd in the field. And I'm so excited to sit here with the newly elected Bishop, Silvester Beaman. How are you, Bishop?
Jordan, I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed because I'm sitting here with you.
Yeah, okay.
Congratulations first is in order to you, man. How are you feeling?
Man, it's a long journey.
Yeah.
It was one of the most difficult things I had to do to become elected a bishop in our church. But I'm feeling wonderful and ecstatic. I'm excited about the potential work going off to South Africa to serve the people there, as well as Namibia and Angola.
Wow.
And so I'm really excited.
Now, I can only imagine, I know you're excited, but I can only imagine how your wife, your children, the members at Bethel are feeling.
Yeah.
I was watching the whole campaign. You had, I couldn't find not one person that wasn't out here. I'm a believer in Beaman, right? So I was changing my profile picture on that. Now, what are you hearing? How are people in the city of Wilmington feeling? What are you hearing?
Well, first, my wife and family who are directly impacted by this election, they're excited. They've been to South Africa as well. I've been there 16 times. My wife has been, I think, 3. My children twice. Corey has been 3 times, I believe. And so they're excited. They know where we're going. I have a lot of friends. My roommate in college actually was from Kryfontein, which is a city not too far from Cape Town.
Wow.
And I'm his last son's godfather, and he is godfather to my daughter, Asaya. Wow. So we have relationships, friendships, so we're excited about the work and about reconnecting with people. Yeah. My church obviously backed me 100%. I would not be sitting here as a bishop in the AME church if I hadn't had such a wonderful time at Bethel. Yeah. I've been there 28 years. Wow. 28 years. That's unheard of for a Methodist church because we only receive an appointment for a year. So that means
you're doing something right.
I received 28 appointments to this congregation. And so, and it's a little bittersweet because I've been there 28 years. So there's some people, I'm the only pastor, children and young adults, I'm the only pastor they've ever known. Wow. And so it's bittersweet. They're happy for me. They wanted to elevate me to this position. But now it's settling in that we're going to lose our pastor. Yeah. And someone else is going to come and occupy that office.
You know, when I saw the post and heard the news, I immediately went to 2 scriptures, Psalm 23:1, the Lord is my shepherd, as well as Luke 2, verses 4 through 11, where it talks about the shepherd minding its flock.
Right.
And the reason, when I saw the news, I was excited because I immediately thought of a sermon Bishop T.D. Jakes preached on shepherd in the field. And I always see you out in the field, in the community. Now, while you're servicing Bethel, you are a great husband, great father, grandfather, but you still find time to come out into the city of Wilmington to address all kinds of racial, social issues. How do you find time to do all of that?
Because I saw it all as part of the call. I saw it all as part of my responsibility. I'm just not the pastor of the people that sit in the pews. I'm a pastor in the community. In fact, my doctoral dissertation was exactly about that. The church being a viable entity in the entire neighborhood, impacting the neighborhood and making a difference. Plus, I'm a child of the 60s, born in the 1960s, so reared through the 60s and the 70s. And the church played an integral role in social justice. And I was fed on that, very active in my hometown as a teenager. And so it just became part and parcel of who I, even when I went to Bermuda, I became very, very active in the community and in the politics and in government because I really believe that the church has to be relevant. And being relevant, we have to speak to the condition of the human.
Yeah. Now, for individuals that don't know, there is a difference, and correct me if I'm wrong, there is a difference between a pastor and a bishop. Now that you've had this bestowed upon you as bishop, what does that entail? What kind of job responsibilities are going to be expected of you? It's my understanding you have a district. For those that are watching, can you help educate us on understanding what's the difference there?
In the Methodist tradition or the Methodist polity, be it African Methodist, Episcopal, United Methodist, UAME, whatever, our bishops do not pastor local churches. A bishop is more of an administrator who supervises or superintends churches within a geographical location. And so I consider myself to be the pastor to the pastor and the people. In the 15th Episcopal District where I've been assigned, there is the Cape Conference, the Bowling Conference, the East Cape Conference, Kalahari, Queenston, and then the country of Namibia and Angola.
Wow.
So all of those, that geographical location, it's about 250 odd churches. I have the superintendency. I have to shepherd that entire flock. And my wife has a role.
Oh.
So her role is the Episcopal District Supervisor.
Wow.
So for all of those churches that have missionary societies that do work in their various communities and whatnot, she has to be the superintendent of that or the supervisor of that. Wow. And so that's the difference. So here at Bethel, I pastor that congregation and then of course active in the community. As a bishop, I'm pastoring, that geographical location.
Now, how long will you be in Africa?
I'm going to be, I have been assigned to 2024. Okay. And so in July of 2024, we will have another general conference. Our general conference meet every 4 years. Wow. And at that general conference, I will either be reassigned to the 15th Episcopal District or to any of the other 20 Episcopal districts within our worldwide church. Wow. And most likely, I'll be probably brought back home. Okay. But someone said, wow, we hate to see you go to Africa. And I said to them, Africa needs a bishop too. And so I'm excited about going to be a shepherd in the field. Yeah, and you continue to do it so effortlessly. Every time that I've visited Bethel, you're sitting there servicing your church. And that's why I keep going back to the scripture that I heard on TBN, shepherd in the field. And that's when I hear that sermon, I immediately think of you. How did you feel being in Orlando? Talk to me about the AME conference now. What is the process like when you're down in Orlando? Because my grandmother, she was like, listen, your man, your boy, he's in Orlando at the AME conference. I was like, I didn't even know about this. So what's the process? Well, I think the Democratic National Convention. Okay. And see, now you're speaking my language. Okay. Yeah, that's why I thought I would say that. It's a convention. Okay. And we have delegates from around the world, 1,600 or more. Were in Orlando. We were in a hybrid situation. We were not in a big convention hall. We were all over the convention center. Each Episcopal district had its own location. And so that made it difficult and interesting, but it was still nevertheless very, very high energy, high impact. At night, I'm going from district to district to give my stump speech, and the bishops would give me, you got 90 seconds, And so that was the process. It was very, it's almost like a carnival-like atmosphere, charged with a lot of energy. The meetings are very passionate because we're discussing laws and reforming our book of discipline. And then of course you got these big elections at the end of the week. And so, it was really something. And so right after, me and my wife took our whole family and they went to Disney World, and my wife and I, we stayed in the hotel room. Nice.
Now, one of my favorite highlights was watching when Reverend Perry, one of your pastors at your church, shared the video when our president, Delaware's own President Joe Biden, gave you a call to congratulate you. How did you feel when you got that call?
Well, first of all, during the week, we were having sessions. And of course, they said, we're now going to have greetings from the President of the United States. Because normally at our conference, whoever's running for president, because it's always during the election year, they would come and speak. And so he gets on and he greets the protocol. And then he says, to my adopted pastor. And you can hear the roars from the rooms around, that he is highlighting. And he said, he talked about the prayer, the benediction. And so, and then later on, at the end of his speech, he again gave me a shout out. And so I was amazed that after being elected, not more than 5 or 10 minutes later, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Seawright, who's part of the Biden's administration, said, got a call for you. And he hands me the phone. He said, it's the President of the United States.
It's a call you can't turn down.
I felt like I just won the Super Bowl or the NBA championship.
I can only imagine.
And he shared with me his excitement, his joy, happiness. And again, said he hates to see me leave and go somewhere else. But my election was a blessing to the church, as I had been a blessing to Delaware. And I was just moved by that. And so I didn't know they were filming it either. So when I see it on Facebook, I didn't know you guys were filming it.
Listen, you got to have memories stored, right? Well, listen, I can't thank you enough, Bishop, for all that you continue to do. I know the word that you've carried and words and sermons that you've carried at Bethel are going to be magnified wherever you go. It's been a blessing to me and my family every time we came to visit your church. So congratulations on your election.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward. I want to keep following, keep texting you.
Right.
I'm going to keep being a big support because you've been a big support to me. So I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bishop.
Bless
All right. We'll be right back.